Yeah, I feel like self-awareness is pretty important, you know, like whether it's with our bodies, being aware of our thoughts and our feelings, being aware of our actions and how they affect other people, being aware of our surroundings, just aware, you know, and conscious about these things. As I started my little walk this morning, you know, thinking about my body and the alignment, you know, walking with my shoulders back and focused on what my body's doing and my feet touching the earth, the ground, giving me support. You know, there's these things that just, they help me a lot, and it's all just through being self-aware. You know, a year ago I was a really hardcore alcoholic and I was not very aware of what I was doing to myself. I had to become aware, you know, I had to go through my own experience too, but it kind of takes some kind of reflecting, you know, and becoming aware, you know, to get to that point where you decide you want to make a change, you know, to progress and become better, and, you know, for your own self, you know. It's just not for me. That was my poison. And it's legal. It's legal, and it made me do some really crazy stuff, and even though I was doing these crazy things, I still wasn't, you know, really being aware of what I was doing to myself, what I was doing to other people. You know, it's just nice to be aware of those things, because when you can make a change and you do make a change, it's like, wow, you know, you did it. I did it. You know, the water you're drinking, the food you're eating. You know, you think you're someone who is capable and all this stuff, and then you challenge yourself, and sometimes, you know, you fail, you know, sometimes you can't do it, you know, and you can, it's just, you know, trial and error, you know, it's practice. You gotta practice. And that's something I learned throughout my years of just, you know, practicing different arts and stuff, is you gotta practice something in order to learn it. You know, from a job, writing, drawing, dancing, exercise, eating, breathing, you know, learning about being self-aware of your breathing. And, you know, and that can go deep into subject, you know, through meditation and yoga. There's a lot of breathing techniques in those areas. Just being aware of my surroundings in the sense of, you know, I know where I'm at, I know who's around me, and I do feel safe, you know. It's good when you can feel safe in wherever you're at. You never know what people are gonna do, so that's another thing to be aware about, you know, is they say expect the unexpected. So I often find myself at times when things go haywire or a little crazy, I'm actually pretty calm. And it's weird, it surprises me. Because in my mind, like, I have this video, kind of like movie idea of how things play out or should play out or will play out. But when people are, you know, go through a lot and have been put fear in them, you know, you kind of hold that fear, and it just kind of becomes part of your own nature and the balance of life too. Yeah, being self-aware of your actions, you know, and how they affect other people. I like to smile a lot, you know, and like wave at people, or I'll say good morning. I like saying good morning to people. I'll just say hi walking by, or just wave. I'll give the peace sign a lot, especially if I'm on my biking around. I'll just like throw up the peace sign, especially to cars. If I don't, it's because I'm thinking. People always confuse that with like me being angry or sad or whatever. You know, bikes and cars have a very interesting relationship on the road, and so I like to try and, like, you know, make them realize that, you know, we're both people on a machine just trying to, you know, live our life, do what we need to do and get home, you know. A lot of times I've almost been hit, you know, or I've almost ran into someone else's car too, you know. It goes both ways. So it's just a matter of being aware too of your surroundings in that way. Being on my bike, I have to be aware of alleyways, you know, be cautious that, you know, someone might be coming around the corner that I don't know of, you know, expecting the unexpected again. And that teaches me. And I love riding my bike. People ask me, how come you don't have a car? I'm kind of a hippie. I like to think of myself as one, a modern day hippie. Being aware of my environment. You know, our environment is that's what we live in. And if we're here polluting it, we're polluting ourselves. And I feel like that's why there's so much of this energy here that affects us all the time. You know, it's here because our world is polluted. So we are. Therefore, we gotta look at these things, you know, in order to get better. You know, if I never realized I was polluting my body, who knows where I'd be now? I'd probably be in jail again or dead or on the streets. Who knows? I don't. And I don't want to know. Whenever I feel like, you know, I don't have anything else to do and I kind of have stuff on my mind, I'll write it out. And that helps because it's like I didn't talk to anyone, but, you know, I went over my thoughts. And there'll be parts where I don't like, so I'll change it. That changes me. And there'll be parts that I really agree on. And that's what makes me feel like, okay, you know, I resonate with this part a lot. And that's really what I feel. And it's a verification of my thoughts, you know, my feelings, my emotions, my conclusions. Like I didn't really grow up with my mom or my dad, like, really disciplining me. My mom disciplined me in other ways, but, like, not in ways of like, oh, you know, like, keep your body healthy, you know, or discipline yourself in physical activity, you know, or like mental stimulation, you know. And maybe she just didn't know how to explain things, you know. Maybe that's why I'm the way I am. I over-explain everything. See, and that's just self-awareness. Being aware that you're not a product of your environment, but you, in a sense, it's like those things do affect you. You know, they really do shape you, or you let them shape you. You know, and as we get older, it's good to kind of filter out those things that aren't us, you know, that aren't a part of us, that were just taught to us, you know, that were just taught to us, or that were told to us. We're kind of brainwashed when we were kids, you know, by the people around us sometimes, and it sucks, but, you know, just you gotta go through those things and reassess who you really are. Figure out the things that you really believe in and things that you really don't, and realize that this is your life, and you can live it how you want to live it. No one else should tell you how to live. And I let a lot of people do that to me growing up. I almost let someone else decide what school I went to. I would let people decide what relationships I was going to be in. You know, we allow these things for other people to do when it's like, it's not their life, it's your life, you know? And often I feel like that's why a lot of us get depressed and you know, come to the verge of wanting to just quit and give up everything, because none of it's yours. You know, when it comes to that point where nothing you're doing is for you, it's all for other people, and you're just not happy because you're not doing what you need to be doing. You're not in alignment with what your calling is or what you're supposed to be doing. You know, whether it's a job, whether it's a certain type of hobby or action. There's different things we each need. We're all different. We're all so different. So what I need and what I want is totally different from what everyone else needs and wants. And so self-awareness just really helps me feel unstuck too. It's another like type of meditation, but you can like actively do things. It's, you know, like writing out things or just thinking things out clearly.